It's space weather. Looking at the sun at 171 angstroms. Staring right down the barrel of Sunspot 2729. Check it out. It looks like it has beta-class magnetic fields. You see its entire life cycle here, bursting into formation and emitting some B-class X-ray flares. Let's look at the magnetic fields, and yeah. Oh, look at that. There's also an active field down there. And it looks like some odd polarity associated with that, too. Check out the polarity, people. That's gonna be news. Alright, let's look at some other views here. Check on this coronal hole that's rotating in. About 304 angstroms. Very nice. And let's look at the magnetic lines. Pretty dense fields coming out of that coronal hole. You're looking at the magnetic connection situation in a moment. And let's look at some spaceweathernews.com data. You can see we had a little series of B-class flaring right there at about 5:40 Universal Time. Looks like we have a sputtering phi-angle signal here. That's the coronal hole magnetic field. We've had a recent drop-off in solar wind density down to about, it looks like about 7. And solar wind speed is up, dancing around close to 500 kilometers per second. So that's a bit of an uptick there. Magnetometer is looking odd for the past few days, and it's leveling out in a strange fashion here. Keeping an eye on that. The KP index is now at 2. The electron flux did pretty much exactly what we suggested it would do yesterday, and with this increased coronal hole wind stream, we're getting another dip in the electron flux. That's a standard operating procedure, a characteristic of coronal hole wind streams. Charging hazards are not too significant, and the F2 layer is looking fairly discharged, especially considering how high the solar wind speed is. Auroral forecasts are weak, and let's look at the latest earthquake situation, as we've had some pretty funky earthquakes. First of all, been a 7+ magnitude down in this region, New Caledonia. I believe it's that one there. No tsunami warning issued. 7.5 is a huge earthquake, and there's been a whole series of pre and aftershocks. You got a 6.0, then a 7.5, 5.9. See all these other quakes. They're all of significant magnitude. And then a 6.6. And also, there was an earthquake very far north in some place that we can't pronounce with a Russian name. And it's not letting us click on it. Okay, anyway, that's up all the way up right near the geographic North Pole. Another very odd earthquake. And it's a little bit spooky. So, now let's cover some articles before we look at the jet stream. This one from ScienceAlert.com. Power plants just made it snow in Nebraska. Now, I've got a nuclear power plant that I see regularly. It's the Berwick nuclear power plant. And these things make their own weather. They add mass and heat to clouds. And turns out this one actually caused some snow to fall. Up to 2 inches in some places all day. Here's the radar image. We'll leave links to the article below. But, yup, it's confirmed. National Weather Service Omaha says, the steam produced there is essentially acting to add moisture and warmth to the clouds, creating snow. It's true. If you live downwind from a nuclear power plant. There's another map. Next, we've got 2 articles from phys.org. This one's got potential. Texas Tech looking at super soft X-ray emissions, which can come from, quote, accretion, as well as nuclear fusion. Now, a lot of us think that's pretty misguided to say nuclear fusion is a source of X-rays. But they're talking about this occurring on the surface of stars. So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe these guys are trying to silently convert to electric universe type astronomers instead of classical cosmology astronomers, because yeah, we're seeing signs that a transient episode of super soft emission, but without any of the signs we associate with nuclear fusion. If a nova took place, we'd expect to see material flowing away, but we don't. We see that hot emission from the disk transporting material from the companion star to the white dwarf. So that's, I think it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back here. And, you know, we use type 1a supernovas to measure the expansion of the universe. And there's inherent problems there. Interesting article. Now let's get to a more nonsensical article. A new theory could explain the missing 90% of the cosmos. Yep. Dark matter enthusiasts are at it again, and they're getting crazier. They're getting crazier and crazier because they need crazier and crazier theories to hold up their dark matter idea. The latest one? Let's unify dark matter into a single phenomenon, a fluid which possesses negative mass. If you were to push a negative mass, it would accelerate towards you. These are the kind of theories that originate from math problems and come from cartoons. So, yeah. I mean, seriously, read the article. Read the article with a grain of salt. In fact, read the article with a whole salt shaker. Because they are losing their minds. They can't find any dark matter, so they got to come up with crazier and crazier theories. Now, let's continue on with a Bible verse from the Old Testament. Then the Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. Thus he overthrew those cities and the entire plain, destroying those living in the cities and also the vegetation in the land. Why are we reading that? Well, because the story of Sodom and Gomorrah exploding in a sudden cataclysmic event are looking like they're true. Thanks to some archaeological discoveries. And of course, we will leave links to the article, which is from universetoday.com. It's looking like a meteor exploded, and there's all kinds of evidence. This area, modern-day Jordan, there's a site where the land was salted, and there's ceramic melted to glass. Apparently, this area heated up 8,000 to 12,000 degrees, for less than a few milliseconds. And also a whole bunch of water got evaporated from the Dead Sea, which then rained down. Here's a photograph of what happened in Tunguska when an airburst happened. You can see the trees are all directionally blown down. Links to the article below. And last but not least, let's just take another look at the jet stream map. I know some of our Southern Hemisphere viewers were interested in this. So we went to Tropical Tidbits, and we're looking at the upper level winds here. And it does show us the pressure also. This is the GFS model here. You can see the very odd jet stream characteristics here. You got a double jet stream in this area. Breaking apart in this area here. There you have it. Meridional jet stream flow caused by a waning magnetosphere. Next, we'd like to thank everybody for watching, and especially our subscribers. The overwhelming positive nature of the comments is just fantastic. We wanted to do a 500 subscriber special, but we went so quickly from 260 subscribers to nearly 700 subscribers that we didn't have a chance to do that. So we're going to do it. We're going to give more shout outs, etc. So thanks for watching. And remember, when you're waiting for Sunspot 2729 to get named, don't drink. And if you drink, name the Sunspot 2729. It's big, and perhaps it's even growing.